In 2006, a psychology student discovered a way to double her exam scores in 48 hours. Then she started having panic attacks. Turns out, there's such a thing as learning too fast. Introduce the paradox. Study methods that are too effective, ones that don't just boost memory, but can mess with your emotions, perception of time, and even reality. Imagine trying to stream a high-definition Netflix documentary on a 1998 dial-up connection. That is basically what your brain is doing when you sit down to study using natural focus. The truth is, your brain was never designed for this kind of work. It was not built in a lab. It was forged in the wilderness, optimized for survival, not for solving differential equations or memorizing ancient history. Our ancestors' brains were tuned to detect short-term threats, snapping twigs in the bushes, sudden shifts in light, the presence of a tiger that had not eaten in 2 days. They needed to make fast, reactive decisions to stay alive. Deep focus? That was a luxury no caveman could afford. So when you find yourself distracted after 20 minutes of reading, do not blame yourself. Blame your inner hunter-gatherer. Your brain was designed to scan bushes for predators, not memorize tax law. Now let us talk about the study methods that are so effective. They almost feel illegal. These are not just productivity hacks. They are psychological weapons, tools that can turn even the most average student into a learning machine. But be warned, use them with care. Because with great recall comes great obsession. This method is like mental time travel. Instead of cramming everything at once, you strategically review material just as you are about to forget it. This timing activates deep memory retention and beats traditional studying by miles. It is basically legal brain hacking. But if misused, it can lead to obsession, checking flashcards at 2 a.m., trying to outsmart your own forgetfulness like it is a game of mental chess. Psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus visualized this in the forgetting curve, which shows how fast your memory fades and how perfectly timed repetition can fight it. Imagine injecting your memories into a 3D video game built inside your brain. That is what a memory palace feels like. You take familiar locations, your childhood home, your high school locker room, and you place bits of information inside them. Suddenly, your grocery list lives next to your old TV, and your exam answers are lounging in your bathroom. This feels almost like cheating reality. It is like LSD, but with Latin vocabulary. Ancient Greek orators used it. Sherlock Holmes swore by it. And now, it is one of the most mind-bending, underused learning tools in existence. Most people study one topic at a time. Interleaving throws that out the window. You mix subjects, skills, or topics in random order, causing short-term confusion but massive long-term gain. At first, it feels chaotic, like doing 3 puzzles at once while blindfolded. But then, days later, your brain makes astonishing connections. Instead of isolated facts, you start to see how everything fits together. This technique rewires how your brain classifies and retrieves knowledge. And it works frighteningly well. Here is a dark psychological truth. Your brain loves being tested, not with high-pressure exams, but with frequent low-stakes quizzes. Every time you try to recall something, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with it. It is masochism with a memory bonus. In 2006, psychologists Roediger and Karpicki proved that students who tested themselves retained significantly more than those who simply reviewed notes. In other words, struggling to remember something is not a sign of failure. It is the very thing that makes you remember it better next time. Yes, these methods work, but like any powerful tool, they come with side effects, ones the productivity gurus do not put in bold on their thumbnails. When you push your brain into overdrive, something starts to crack. Mental fatigue sets in. Not the "I need a nap" kind, but the deep, soul-crushing kind that makes you forget why you started in the first place. Your world becomes a loop of flashcards, memory palaces, and practice tests until everything starts to feel mechanical, even your emotions. Take Sophie, for example. She was a university student who mastered all the techniques we just discussed. She could recall 100 digits of pi on command. She built memory palaces the size of shopping malls. Her friends joked she was becoming a human search engine. But on her birthday, something strange happened. She showed up to her party, looked at the cake and said, "Wait, whose birthday is this?" She had become so focused on efficiency that her brain started filtering out what it saw as irrelevant, like her own life. This is called cognitive overload, when the brain is forced to operate at maximum capacity for extended periods. It starts shutting down anything that does not serve immediate performance. Add in overtraining, and your ability to process emotions, enjoy rest, or even feel proud of your achievements starts to erode. In the race to remember everything, you can forget the things that actually matter. Here is the paradox. The more you learn, the more anxious you might become. It sounds backward, but it is real. As your brain absorbs more information, your awareness of what you do not know also expands. You become painfully aware of how limited time is, how fleeting memory can be, and how most people around you are operating on autopilot. Suddenly, ignorance does not feel blissful. It feels isolating. Learning too fast can distort your social confidence. You may start seeing people less as individuals and more like walking multiple-choice questions. Conversations feel like flashcard prompts. Jokes become pattern recognition exercises. One viewer once commented, "After I got deep into study optimization, I stopped being able to enjoy TV. I kept analyzing character arcs like they were psychology case studies." That is not learning. That is hypercompetence isolation. When your brain is so optimized for knowledge that it forgets how to live with that knowledge. There is also the issue of imposter syndrome. Ironically, the more competent you become, the more you question whether you actually deserve to be. And if you are always chasing higher performance, you might end up desensitizing your dopamine system, burning out your brain's reward center by feeding it constant validation through scores, results, and benchmarks. At some point, even success stops feeling good. So yes, these study methods work too well, but use them recklessly. And you might not just change how you study, you might change who you are. In the end, the best study methods do more than help you pass a test or get a better grade. They fundamentally change how you experience the world. Spaced repetition, memory palaces, interleaving, and active recall. They are not just learning hacks. They are neurological rewiring tools. With every recall, every confusing interleaved session, and every mental image you place in a memory palace, you are not just remembering, you are reshaping your brain's operating system. And here is the twist most people miss. Studying is not about how much you know. It is about how you think. It changes how you solve problems, how you interact with people, and even how you perceive time and value. These tools are powerful, but they are neutral. A hammer can build a house or break a window. What you build with this power depends entirely on you. If this made your brain feel slightly upgraded, or at least like it downloaded a fresh patch, hit that like button before your dopamine resets, and subscribe for more mind-bending takes on human behavior, where we laugh at the dark science of being human, one uncomfortable truth at a time.